I really wanted to welcome you guys to our regional conference. It's something new that we're trying to do thanks to the statewide Guardian Ad Litem Foundation. We know that the work you guys do for our children is so important. And the best way to better equip you to do that job is by giving you additional training in addition to what you get from your circuits. And so we felt that this was a better way to get more statewide issues, bring them to you, and raise some awareness of some of the big picture stuff. So thank you for being here, guys. I want to thank our staff. I want to thank Kelly Rosano for pushing us in this direction. She's Ala's executive assistant. Elizabeth, where are you, Elizabeth? There you go. Thank you. They've done an amazing job. The 19th Circuit and their staff for hosting us here. We certainly wouldn't be able to be here today without all of them and all of our staff. And really, to be honest, without our excellent staff, you probably wouldn't be here to begin with, because we need you guys to be recruited, we need you guys to be trained, and so on and so forth. So thanks to our staff. I also want to thank Sunshine Health for the partnership and their support as we go throughout the state doing these conferences, the Haverford Center, and of course our presenters. I also again want to thank all of you guys for being here this morning, taking time out of your schedules to come in and learn a little bit more about how to be a better advocate for our children, because ultimately that's why we're here. So I want to challenge you guys to break your walls. You know, at the end of the day, I would like you guys to go home with a contact from somebody, a relationship that you build throughout the day, a telephone number, somebody who you can relate with, and help each other through as you help and advocate for our children. So that's my challenge to you guys for the rest of the day. Try to meet someone, expand your horizons, and I hope you enjoy it, guys. And I'm going to introduce Kristen Solomon. She is the Regional Director for the South Region, and she's going to be talking to you guys about our legislative agenda for the upcoming year.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you hear me if I don't use the mic as well?
Yes.
I'm pretty loud, so I think it's okay. We're really excited this year for the legislative issues that the program is putting forth. Each year, the Guardian Ad Litem program takes on important issues that we feel will affect children. Last year, for those of you that followed along at all, we really took on the adoption intervention issues. Before, previously, the courts could really only consider when an adoption intervention was filed, meaning the parents signed over their parental rights to an adoption entity, kind of took it out from underneath Chapter 39, and with us, and you'd have somebody file to intervene in our case, and meaning they wanted to step in. The judge could really only determine whether or not the placement that the parents chose wasn't fit and proper. Kind of everything else that we were working on wasn't necessarily able to be considered up until we really started pushing for those changes. So last year we were extremely successful in changing the law on adoption intervention. So now the best interest of the child must be considered by the judge when considering whether to decide if the parent's choice for an adoptive placement is appropriate, or whether or not the placement where the child has been or a different placement that we feel is more appropriate should be considered. There were a lot of issues coming up throughout the state. I'm not sure if anyone in this room had an issue, but we even had parents who were alleged murderers of the other parent choosing the adoptive placement over the placement the child is already in and doing extremely well and in bonded. And so there were a lot of issues. In fact, children were moved as a result of the prior law. So this new law took place July 1st and is very beneficial to our children. And it was in large part due to our advocacy and Alan's pushing and a lot of wonderful staff on board that really advocated for that. So this year we're taking on some other great important issues. Another issue that we're going to take on is putting the burden on the parents to help bring issues to the court's attention if they are having problems on their case plan. A year is a long time in a child's life. We always hear that 12 months is a really long time to a 3-year-old, a 5-year-old, etc. So we're going to look at trying to amend the current laws to put some of those burdens on the parents to let us know if they're having an issue receiving services with transportation, finances. So we're not waiting until that 6-month JR, that 9-month permanency hearing to hear all of a sudden there was a problem and they couldn't comply with their case plan, and extensions happen. So we're really going to put some of those burdens back on the parent and have it be the parent's responsibility to tell DCF when there's a barrier to achieving their case plan. Really make them take on more of that parental responsibility. Your children are in the system because of an act that you did or did not do in order to protect your child. You need to take that responsibility in getting your children back. So that's going to be some key legislation that we're looking to push forth this year and really help get children through the system quicker. We're also looking at ensuring the Keys to Independence program, the program that allows children to learn how to drive and get their driver's license just like other children. We're going to help make that more permanent. We're going to expand it so those in relative care can also get the benefits of the Keys to Independence funding and improve that program as well. We're looking at amending Chapter 92 to reflect current practice with the use of facility and therapy dogs. Right now it's really limited by statute on which type of children can use therapy and facility dogs. It's in practice much broader, and we're going to make the statute recognize what's actually in practice by involving abused and neglected children, the ability to have those dogs with them when they're testifying in court to ease their comfort level with being in that courtroom. We're also looking at supporting the Florida State Foster and Adoptive Parents Association's effort to establish discounts at state parks so that when these children are in their homes, they can go to state parks for free or reduced costs and enjoy the activities. This will also include parents that have adopted children with disabilities out of the foster care system as well. Again, little things like that that'll just make it easier for individuals that take on the important role of being a foster parent, able to enjoy normalcy activities with the children placed in their homes. So we're really excited about the initiatives that we're going to take on this year legislatively. In addition, each year we put forth legislative budget requests. The past several years, we've asked for additional funds to increase the representation of the children that we've represented. And we've been very successful in that over the last several years, gaining additional staff in both child advocacy managers, children's best interest attorneys, recruiters, etc. So we've been very lucky in that aspect. However, this year we're going to take a little bit of a different approach. Because as we all know, child welfare is really hard, and everybody here doesn't do it for the money. We do it because we care for children. However, we have a high turnover due to the current pay structure for our staff. And a lot of you've seen it. You've seen your CAMs leave, you've seen your best interest attorneys leave, and unfortunately it's just cost of living. And statistically, we've done research, our program staff make less money than our counterparts that are also in the child welfare system. So this year, our only legislative budget request is going to be to increase those salaries for our staff so we can stabilize the workforce, which will hopefully produce better outcomes for our children, because we like to say a volunteer is going to see that child all the way through from the start to finish. But it's so important that the same team is as consistent, as stable, not just the volunteers. So you as volunteers aren't having to reiterate all of the work you've done, the years worth of advocacy you've done over and over again because there's been a turnover in staff. So we're really excited to go after this legislative budget request. It is the only request for funding that we're doing this year, and that will really to better help stabilize the workforce and increase the advocacy for our children and the support for you as volunteers. So we're really excited about everything going forth. I again welcome you like Frank did to today. I really encourage you to meet all of those in the room, ask questions, think outside the box, and thank you for being here today. Have a great one.